Justin Timberlake and I have something in common. Just to bring you up to speed, Justin was charged and arrested with a DWI over the weekend in Sag Harbor, New York. And I can only imagine how ashamed and embarrassed he was to have had this experience. And how would I know? Because I was also arrested for a DWI in Long Island, New York, and I can tell you that it was the worst experience that I've ever had. This is a picture of my actual mugshot that I have in my book, Being Loved Shouldn't Hurt. And before people start throwing shade or judging Justin, just realize if you've ever had more than like 2 or 3 drinks and gotten behind the wheel, this literally could have happened to you too. And I don't know if he's going through anything in particular, but for me, when I got my DWI, I was in people pleaser mode. I had gone out, I knew I had too much to drink, the friend who had driven me told me goodbye and left me at my car, and instead of me bringing up, hey, I probably need to stay at your house for a little bit, my ex-husband kept calling me and telling me that I needed to come home. So I started to drive, and then I pulled over because I said, this is absolutely not something that's safe. And after I pulled over, after speaking to my ex-husband on the phone, all of a sudden I was surrounded by ambulances and police cars, and I was asked to get out of the car, and I thought I was okay because I wasn't driving, I just had my keys in the ignition. I learned the hard way that not drunk driving and just having your keys in the ignition is actually intent to drive. So as someone who never even got detention, well, I got detention once in high school, here I was spending the night in jail with a whole bunch of other people who had done some pretty terrible things, and I was so mortified that I was in that position. The good news is that it was the beginning of my reality check. I understood that I was trying way too hard to make everybody else happy, and I wasn't having healthy boundaries for myself. And I can't say that I didn't need a few more lessons to really decide to turn my life around, but this was definitely the beginning of me realizing that I had to. Oh, and I forgot to mention this really important part of all of it is that the reason why my ex-husband kept calling me throughout the evening and trying to get me to drive home is because he wanted to know where I was located, and he's the one who called the police to get me arrested. And yeah, I get it. Of course, I shouldn't have driven around the block, but I really was trying to do the right thing and not drive. So what's the big lesson here? Well, if you're Justin and you're going through something, please go get help. Please talk to someone. You don't have to deal with this on your own. If you're not getting along with your wife or if you're having other issues, please get support in healing. You don't have to stay stuck like this. And for me or anyone else who's in that people pleaser mode, realize that your people pleasing can cause really negative effects to you and to other people. And no matter how we got to this place, we don't need to hold on to that shame and guilt. The shame and guilt won't last forever, and you will be able to work through this. Luckily, that was a long time ago in my life. I now actually get to help other women heal and thrive after toxic relationships. So Justin, whatever you are going through, know that things can change, and this isn't going to follow you around for the rest of your life. So here's my question to all of you. Have you ever done anything that you really regretted later on? Put your comments down below.